stabbed at the rocks around her. Her wings unfolded and stretched high above her back, flapping twice. The sharp claw at the mid-span joint on each wing gleamed like a curved mecha blade in the flickering light. "I will find a way, Sabarukai." A deep masculine voice sang the vow in the rich, vivid tones of Tairen song. Heat curled in Ellysetta's belly, drawing inner muscles tight in a series of small rippling shudders of remembered pleasure. She turned and found Rain standing beside her, Rainier Velendaris, the Tairen Soul, the legendary Fey shapeshifter who had once scorched the world in a wild, grief-stricken rage over the death of his beloved mate, Serial. Rain Tairen Soul, king of the Fey, who had stepped from the sky to claim Ellysetta as his Sheatani, his true mate, the only woman ever born with whom he could form a soul bond, even stronger than the love bond he'd held with Serial. His long black hair hung down his back, straight and fine, framing a face of breathtaking masculine beauty. Black Fey leathers hugged broad shoulders, slim hips, and long, lean legs. His deadly swords and the scores of throwing knives, tucked into the bands crisscrossing his chest, gleamed golden in the flickering firelight. His lavender eyes were glowing, his beautiful mouth grim. "I will find a way," he said again, aloud this time, but still addressing the majestic great Tairen. "I will not fail you." Turning, he strode off the nesting sands towards a wide opening at the end of the cavern. Ellie hurried after him, and together they jogged up a long winding passage through the mountain and emerged on a wide sunlit ledge high above the fading lands. Ellie raised a hand to shield her eyes, blinking at the brightness of the great sun. When her eyes adjusted, she gave a gasp of awe-filled wonder. They were standing near the top of the steep, dark mountainside of Feybarin, the tallest volcano in the majestic Fales Range that formed the northern border of the fading lands. Below, the rippling golden grasses of the plains of Kurun spread out for miles. Ellie drank in the breathtaking scenery, which seemed at once familiar yet new, like a forgotten memory, freshly renewed. "Oh, Rain," she breathed. "It's so beautiful." Beside her, magic gathered as Rain summoned the change. Ellysetta's body tingled as a surge of energy swept around and through her. A fine gray mist billowed about him, about them both, and she threw back her head on a swell of pleasure so intense it bordered on pain. Though it was Rain, not she, who was the shapeshifter, she felt his body dissolve and expand as if it were her own, felt the echo of awareness as his face senses grew even more acute. Fur sprouted, wings spread, claws speared the rock. Moments later the mist cleared, and a magnificent death-black Tairen, with huge lavender eyes, crouched on the ledge where Rain Tairen Soul, the Fey King and Ellysetta's betrothed, had stood. The Tairen spread his enormous ebony wings, gathered strength in his haunches, and sprang into the air with an echoing roar. Behind him, standing alone on the ledge, still trapped in her human form, Ellysetta cried out, "Rain, come back! Don't leave me!" Ellysetta woke with her heart thumping and tears cooling on her cheeks. The emotions of the dream still held her heart clutched tight, making her want to weep in despair for the dying Tairen and the terrible grieving emptiness that had struck when Rain took to the air and abandoned her on that ledge. "Another nightmare, Sheatani." The familiar sound of Rain's spirit voice, low and husky with sleep, sounded in her mind. An arm tightened around her waist. There was a warm, heavy weight pressed against her in her narrow bed, and it was most definitely not her twin sisters Lilith and Laurel cuddling up with her as they sometimes did. She turned her head slowly, and her breath stalled in her lungs. For the first time in the last 5 days, there was no little courtship gift beside her when she woke. There was, instead, a great big one. All black leather, white skin, and inky hair. Rain lay beside her on her narrow bed, his long limbs draped over her. Thinking she must still be dreaming, she closed her eyes, inhaled, opened them again. He was still there, solid and warm, his face pressed to her neck. She should leap up.